Guys, there have been a whole bunch of new knife companies that have just popped up in the last few years. There are a lot of really good ones out there, but today we're going to look at one of my favorite companies that has come up in the last few years, Finch Knives. All right, guys, like I said, Finch Knives is one of my favorite newer companies that is out there. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff. We're going to look at three of their great knives. We're going to start with this one, and it's the Fint Stinger. Now, this is one of their more entry level models. This is still a great knife. This is a lot like the one that I had in recently, which was the Reciprocity that I loved. This is a little bit different. You're looking at natural wood handles, glow in the dark shield on this. It is a very good flipper. These are typically based off of slip joint knives that then are done as a flipper style, and they do a great job. The work is just incredible. Even on their cheaper models, this is not one of their more high-end models, you get superb craftsmanship. Like, there is really no real line there. The wood is done beautifully. Satin on the bolsters. Now, these are steel bolsters. It's a bolster lock, so it's basically like a combination liner lock, frame lock. So you can see here these scale overlays here, but just beautiful work on these. The glow in the dark shield is just a beautiful touch, and then all of their blades are just done and ground really well. This one's in 154 cm. This knife does spend a lot of time in my pocket. I think this is one of my favorite models they make. It kind of bridges a gap on a lot of stuff that you'd want to do. It's not quite a Warrenclyffe. It's not quite a sheep's foot, but it's still not as heavily radiused as a lot of other knives. They're always really comfortable in hand. This one has got the same thing that you see on a lot of their knives, which is the flipper tab. In lieu of a finger choil, you'll wind up with a flipper tab that allows you to get up on it. Always got really good jumping. Access to the lock bar on this one is great. The action on their knives is just incredibly smooth. I think that they've set out to make some of the smoothest knives out there. In hand, this one is great, really secure, and it cuts very well. This knife is extremely sharp. The only thing I've had to do with this, a little bit of stropping on it. But I don't like to scuff this one up because it's got such a beautiful satin on it. But this is a very good work knife. You can get way up on it like this, cut around detail stuff. And like I said, even though you don't have a full finger choil, you don't feel like you're giving up anything. You can get way up on that. And it is got a great flipper tab on this. There's no hot spots on this. It's just done beautifully. Their knives are always, on top of being super functional, really attractive. And like I said, the glow in the dark shield that they put on these is absolutely one of the coolest features on knives out there. Some people are doing tritium. This is a more budget option, but it is a lot of fun to have that on there. So there you go. There's the first one, the Finch Stinger. All right, guys, this is the buffalo tooth, and this is a definite unique knife. Same thing. You've got this glow in the dark shield, but this is it's based off a slip joint pattern that was called the elephant's toe. Very similar. Case still makes one. Finch did this one. It does have nail nicks in it, very much like the original buffalo toe, but elephant's toe, but this buffalo tooth is a flipper. It's got that same flipper tab. They do this on almost all their knives. I love it. Like I said, in lieu of a finger choil, you've got that there. You've got some of the best access to the lock bar on any knife I've seen in a long time. It's not sharp, it's not uncomfortable, but they give you all that access. They didn't try and remove material here, and it just gives you great access. The jigged titanium is a throwback to the old style slip joints where you would have a jigged bone pattern. But then when you get down to it, this is a high performance cutter. Really good feel on this because it's a big, broad knife. So you don't feel like you're squeezing down. You're not engaging all those muscles. You can really do some heavy cutting for a while with this. You can get way up on it like this. The one that I had in from Jared was the one I did all the cutting with. This is my personal one that Finch sent me. So it's not as scratched up, but the cutting that I've done with the one that Jared sent, it was insane how good this cuts. You just have such good control on it because it's not a real for as big as it looks, it's really not that big. It's coming in just under 7 inches, so you don't have a real big blade, but it gives you so many different positions you can hold onto this and do detail tasks and things like that. You could do skinning. On this shorter blade, you've got a really good ratio of belly to flat, so you've got all this flat surface for doing like push cutting tasks and things like that. And then, like I said, if you need to get up on it to do some other things, you've got a really stable platform to do cuts up there on the belly, such as maybe skinning out doing small game and things like this. This knife is a little bit heavier, but it's not as heavy as you would expect looking at it. It's got a really nice balance. There is no weight reduction in these handles, yet it does not feel as heavy as it looks. This looks like it would be massive. Titanium's a relatively light material, but the action on this, listen to the thing slam open. Action on this thing is just incredible. Really nice big pocket clip that sits not deep, but deep enough for me, the way I would want it. No sharp spots up here, but in and out of pocket, even though this is on that jig titanium, does not pose any problems in and out of pocket. This is one of the best pocket clips I've had on a knife this size. I will say this does take up a lot of space in pocket. And the satin is going to, the satin is definitely going to scratch up fairly easily. This one's also 154 cm. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So there you go, the buffalo tooth. Now let's move on to the one that I really have been impressed with, and I think is rapidly becoming one of my favorites. And it's this Runtley XL. So the Runtley XL is a nice cleaver style blade. Now this is, I think this is the most expensive. I didn't look the prices up before I did that. I will put prices, like I said, you'll have already seen them, but this is beautiful. I did have to clean up the micarta before we did this video because I've been carrying it a lot. This is a nice cleaver style titanium and micarta M390 blade knife that I have really fallen in love with. This thing spends a lot of time in my pocket. You've got a beautiful, perfect straight blade, not a lot of piercing. It's nice and broad. They did a saber style grind on it, but they did a nice high saber style grind that allows you to have a fairly good behind the edge thickness. This thing came really sharp. I do need to sharpen this. I've used it a lot. Stonewash on your surface where you're going to be doing cutting, you can't see too much wear, and it protects that beautiful satin. So you've got the satin and a stonewash. Same thing with the flipper tab. You've got that flipper tab that allows you to come clear up on this and use that almost cutthroat razor style blade. It looks like a Sweeney Todd style razor, if you ask me. It's just gorgeous. Brilliant pocket clip on this, in and out of pocket. This is probably one of the best knives that's come in this year. Great access to the lock bar on this one, where you have a little bit less material removed here. They did give you that, and the action on this, super smooth. And one of the cooler points, got a nail nick, just like some of the others. You can reverse flick off of that nail nick because the detent and action on this are just about perfect. Nice backspacer on this to protect if you're not going to get keys and stuff in there. When you jam your keys in your pocket, not going to mar your edge. And it is, like I said, the weight reduction that's done simply by removing this material to put in your scales to give you the bolstered look and give you that faux bolster lock. Well, a bolster lock, but the faux bolsters just looks incredible, and it gives you a beautiful balance. Like, I love the fact that this has got weight forward of the pivot. It wants to drop forward of the pivot, nowhere near as heavy as it should be looking at it. No hot spots. One little spot there that's a little bit rough, but it's not hot. And then, like I said, just the micarta is done so well. You can see it's just still kind of fuzzy, and it gives you really good purchase on that. Good grip, but does not drag in and out of pocket. And the nice thing about micarta, especially good micarta like this, it's gonna patina. Like I said, I took the pocket clip off and I cleaned all of this up before we did this video, but it picks up pocket oils and it gets its own coloration to it that is going to be unique to everyone. And then just beautiful clean lines on this. The only thing I wish this had was the glow in the dark shield like the other one. So there you go. There was 3 awesome Finch knives. If you have not picked up a Finch knife, you need to try one out at least. Like I said, this is one of their more affordable ones. but you're not giving up anything. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. Yeah, guys, you can't really go wrong with the Finch knives. This one, the Runtley XL, if you have not seen one, they are one of the more pricier ones, but man, this is so good. Absolutely became one of my new favorite knives very, very quickly. So guys, that's it on this one. You all know how to support. There's a bunch of stuff down below. Sponsors are down below. Two of them have discounts bid in, Coffee Burn Coffee and Temper Trail. Speaking of discount, coupon code crazysharp, all one word, all lowercase, 40% off at Beyond EDC Knives, 10% off Farm Forge Knife Works, 10% off at Rosecraft Blades, and 10% off at KATSU Knives. They've got new knives out. I've got affiliate links to most of the major vendors down below. You can use those links to purchase things. Doesn't cost you anything extra. I also have an Amazon store. It works exactly the same way. Take that pin at your browser, use it for all the Amazon shopping you're going to do. I have a membership down below. Look at what I'm offering for the memberships. I do giveaways, exclusive content, premium sharpening tutorial series, and a private Discord for right now. Guys, pretty much that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.